An hour-long bath is not going to eliminate your burnout. Hello, my brilliant providers. I am Marinda Nelson. I help healthcare providers go from bored and burned out to truly doing what they love. I'm just getting off a coaching call with a client, and we were talking about developing her dream practice. It reminded me of a story that someone had shared in a workshop that I taught recently on burnout. It was a program about going from burnout to making your dream practice inevitable. This is a workshop I teach for a lot of associations and a lot of schools. And this one happened to be a women's group. I often start with, what have you been taught before? What have people told you to help with burnout before? And it's usually things like take a bath or a spa day or use your vacation time or make sure to eat well or simple things like that, right? But this one had had a trainer teach them or tell them that they should take an hour-long bath after every shift. Everyone. Does that sound lovely? Sure. Is that any sort of realistic? Absolutely not. Oh my good world. We all have lives. We have families. We have pets. We have a home. We have, oh my gosh, not realistic. So, one of the reasons I asked this question at the beginning of this workshop is my workshops are really interactive, and this is a way of getting people talking, but also to show how different what I teach is, things you need to know to break the burnout cycle. A bath isn't going to freaking work. It's going to perpetuate this cycle, right? Because you're going to miss the day. You're going to get home. Okay. Let's back up. You're going to get home and you're going to take your bath, right? It's going to be great. And then you're going to go to work the next day. Hell, Matt, you're going to be like, okay, so I've got this thing, but I'm going to get home. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get home and I'm going to take my bath. This is what they said. Like, I've got to handle this burnout thing because I'm going to start making mistakes or whatever's going to happen. I don't want to leave healthcare. I love what I do, but man, I got to get rid of this burnout. And so I'm exhausted physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Like, we got to do something about this. So if a bath is the thing, then I'll do the damn bath. I'll take my bath every day when I get home. Does it sound right? Like, come hell or high water, the dogs are going to have to deal with their kennels. My husband's going to have to handle the kid, whatever your thing is, right? I'm going to take my bath. Defiance. Okay. And then that's going to work for a couple of days, maybe. And then you're going to miss one. And then you're going to beat yourself up and I'm never going to get over burnout. And then you spiral, right? And then you're feeling defeated. So that's this burnout cycle that I speak about. You're going to go in one day and you're going to show them and you're going to stand your ground and you're going to set your boundaries and you're going to, oh, you're insubordinate and you're terrible. Instead of standing your ground, you cry in the administrator's office again. And then you go to work the next day and you're like, I'm going to show them. And then it's Mayhem by Hailstorm on the radio. And then you're going to show them. And then it's Riot by 3 Days Grace the next day. And then, okay, those were mine, right? And then you are on your way home and you're just totally defeated. Sound familiar? Burnout is a multi-billion-dollar problem in healthcare. Now, the numbers have actually gotten a little bit better over the last couple of years, but it is still at least half of the providers that are experiencing at least one symptom of burnout. And I see this as I speak with healthcare providers all the time. As providers will say, oh my gosh, I can't even dream about my dream practice. I'm so burnt out. I just need to get through this. Does that sound familiar? And we know, Harvard research, that a happy provider is a better provider. And I have had many, many, many not great experiences with healthcare providers. But I know that they're burnt out, that they're not happy, that you're frustrated with the way that things are going right now. So what we want to do is keep those of you that care in healthcare. right? Because I define burnout as having to not care about things that you deeply, deeply do. And it's those of you that care that we want to continue to be in healthcare. So, burnout is a cycle, and the treatment recommendations that you're hearing out there, they're not going to break it. Burnout is, in my world, my definition for burnout is having to not care about things that you deeply, deeply do. To start breaking the burnout cycle for you, what are you having to not care about? What are you having to not care about? And this can be your home. This can be your health. This can be your authenticity. This can be truly being the caring and compassionate provider you want to be. This could be not being able to see your patients as individuals. That was one of mine. Having to follow all these policies and procedures and standard and automations and systemizations and not being able to individually take care of your patients when they are individual humans. So what is it for things? I often will hear people say things like, oh, insurance. Yes, it's the insurance, but let's get behind the insurance. It's so easy to point the finger and blame at one thing, but let's actually get to the root of it. Is it that insurance is making things really expensive for your patients, or is it that they're not able to get the treatments that they need because they're not able to afford them? Okay, so let's get behind those umbrella let's get more to the specific. And this is individual for every person. And this is why I always build time into my programs to work with you individually, personally, because that is one of my core foundational beliefs is that we are humans helping humans. We are individual humans helping individual humans. And I want to be able to work with you as an individual. Okay. Um, so what is it that you're having to not care about that you deeply do? The next thing is realizing just how impactful you are in your life. Look what you've done. Look at how far you've gotten so far. Right? You create your experience. You create your world. So your beliefs, your understanding self, your conditioning, all of that is going to create the experience that you build for yourself. And so this is where that personal reflection piece is so critical to be curious about those stories. Do you believe them anymore? Do you not? Do you want to nurture that? Do you want to release it? Okay, once we see them, those beliefs and those understandings, then we can choose. Okay. So you want to be able to come from a place of choice and realizing just how influential you are in your own world. The next piece of this, though, then taking that responsibility for yourself is realizing that you are responsible for your well being. Your well being is your responsibility physically, spiritually, emotionally. Okay. So let's pull back from that and realize you are responsible for your well being, but also so are your patients. There is an entire system, huge system devoted to your patients' health. You are a resource on their healthcare journey. Okay. You are a resource on their healthcare journey, right? That is your patient. You're a resource for them. You're going to take care of them. Also, though, if we give patients their well being, let them take it more into their hands, see them as empowered humans. Right? There's often things that they could have done earlier. There's often things that they could do to make their well being better. And so when we think about having to save Mary in room 111, or that we're a resource on Mary in 111's journey, getting that understanding shifted, that mindset shifted from what you've been taught is going to open you up to better be able to take care of yourself, realizing that there's entire systems and structures there to be able to support you, but also to be able to support your patients helps you realize that you can take care of yourself. Okay. That your well being does not come from how much you sacrifice you for them. Okay. Or your value does not come from you being the savior or the caregiver. They are not responsible for validating you as a provider. We see other people do this though. Like, I need them to bow to me so that I'm good enough. I know you're not doing that, but we've seen that out there. You are a resource on your patient's healthcare journey. Okay. I spend a lot of time with this. You are a resource on your patient's healthcare journey. They are responsible for their well being. You are responsible for yours. You are a resource on their healthcare journey. Okay. Once we can step back from this victor victim mindset that you need to save them, then we can take a breath. Can do, but these are these core beliefs that need to get down in there so that you can even take that breath. Okay. Now we can talk about, what does your dream practice feel like? Now we can even begin to ask that question. What are your values? What is your desire? What is your fullest, truest expression? What does it feel like? And I say, what does it feel like? Because the who and the what may change. Technology is changing. You may end up with a move. What does that dream practice feel like? And then what's the smallest step that you can take to bring that into being? Not the hour-long bath, not the buy my own private practice tomorrow, not the overhaul the entire insurance system. Yes, there are big transformations and transitions that you want to make right now. Yes. I understand you. If I could just transform healthcare from the inside out tomorrow, that would be great. I am not a patient human. Okay. Patience is not one of my virtues. However, if we're wanting to break this burnout cycle, we need to remember that small steps compound and that small actions will bring us to where we're going and help it feel like we're making progress. When we make these goals so big or tell us that we're going to go to the gym 5 days a week, no, you're not. I'm not. Most of my clients are not. But what I can commit to myself to is dancing like an idiot in my kitchen the days that I'm home to cook for a song or two. I started with one, went to two, right on my healthcare journey. I was able to do that consistently. If I'm home making dinner, I'm going to put one song on and like dance really, really hard like an idiot. And then it was two songs. Okay. And then we went up and then I wanted to work, but we want to break it down. What's the phone call that you can make today? What's a seed that you can plant in a committee for something today? What's the smallest thing that you can do today? The smallest step that you can take today to begin bringing that feeling sense into being. Otherwise, we make it so big and then it feels like it's not happening, or we miss a day and then we're beating ourselves up again. And then you're back into this defiant, I'm going to do it. Okay, defeated. All right. And then you're right back in that cycle. So, in order to break that cycle, we want to break it down and take these small steps, knowing that they will compound. Here's the last one. Realizing that your results are going to show up later. The life you've created now, you wished for some time ago. And then it takes some time. That it doesn't need to take as long as you probably think, but it is going to take a little bit of time for it to come around, right? Scheduling changes, availability changes. A lot of our reporting in healthcare is months out. Okay. That we see the financial results. When I'm working with my deep, in-depth consulting clients, where I actually come into the clinic, I guarantee an extra $100,000 for the practice. And the clients after quarter one be like, "Ah, I'm not seeing it, and we're not going to get there. And oh my gosh, why am I failing?" But they forget that the changes we're making today, maybe they see the consult patient 2, 3 weeks out, and then they're going to schedule the surgery 2, 3 weeks out. But then billing can take 2, 3, 6 weeks. Right. So we're months out. So a lot of times it's not until quarter 2 that people go, whoa, wait a minute, this is working. Okay. So having awareness that by the time they develop the policy or change the procedure, or you create the habit comfortably, or you get the mindset shift where you're able to then have another review or have it show up again or have another conversation or whatever this might be, remembering that it can take some time. And while I am not patient, I do know I have that awareness, that knowledge that what we do today, the desires that we have today. No, some of mine have actually got quicker. Um, the barriers that I put up between me and what I want I have had awareness of those and have been able to get rid of a lot of those. And the confusions or the mixed messages or the underlying core things that keep me from not having what I want now or not taking the actions or whatever have gone away. But especially when we start remembering it can take just a minute. So, your dream practice is inevitable. It is your dream practice. So, I can tell you these things, but it's really you doing the personal reflection work. It's doing this mindset work. And this begins in the core collection. So, if you go to my website, um, that is the program to really dive into these beliefs and into that personal reflection and have that individual time with me to look at those beliefs and those understandings and those stories and those conditionings that you have to really be able to break this burnout cycle and make your dream practice inevitable. Build that new foundation that you need to know. Burnout is a multi-billion dollar, at least half of providers are experiencing at least one symptom. It is a cycle. It is. And you're not going to break the cycle until you remember that we need to break it down and that you are a resource on your patient's healthcare journey. Okay. There are systems and structures there to support you. Realizing how influential you are in your own life and taking that power back and then taking those small steps toward your dream practice. Okay. We'll see you soon.